There you go.
All right, test, test. Turn it back on.
ready, Ron? Let's call the meeting to order. Good morning. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest in the district, and thank you for the interest in this board's work. Let's begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think we need some safety instructions, Mr. Classy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and we'd like to start the meeting the way we always do, with some safety information for our guests and visitors. We do want to remind everyone that we are on the second floor, so in the need to evacuate, you will have to take the staircase. Please notice the exit signs. Behind that screen, there is an exit sign for those of you sitting here in the front, but you can also use the doorway where you entered and take the stairway down. Please avoid the elevators as much as you can. And if you are left here or not able to take the stairs, let someone know so they can report it to emergency responders when they arrive. We also have an AED and a first aid kit nearby. If those become necessary, we'll retrieve those. Thank you very much and enjoy the meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And we have one person speaking with public comments. Could you please come forward? State your name, sir. And if you're speaking in a representative capacity, please tell us who you represent.
My name's Douglas Dixon. I represent myself. I'm a DVC owner. I have a condo down in Port Charlotte. I have a place in New Jersey and New York. I was planning on retiring to Florida. I always thought it was a great free state. I'm now taking serious questions on that. I believe that as a DVC owner, raising taxes to pay for your defense is wrong. If you take any of our money, it's wrong. What you're doing is wrong. You complimented the Department of Agriculture on the job they do for safety inspection. Well, I want to remind you that it wasn't that long ago. They failed big time, directly leading to the death of a 15-year-old falling off a ride that they inspect and they approved to operate. You want to turn the roads over to the Department of the Department of Transportation. It took me over 3.5 hours to drive from Port Charlotte to here on Friday. I get off of the highway, and what do we have? The best roads anywhere in the state of Florida. You can drive here, you get on there, you get inside the Disney bubble, which has been fantastic for over 50 years. Well-maintained, immaculate, landscape to the hill, fantastic. And you want to change that? You want to give it to the Department of Transportation? You want them to inspect, you want the state to inspect rides, which will directly lead to more people dying. You want roads, I guess you want to have potholes too. You guys are terrible, and I honestly think you should resign. You haven't been approved yet, and yet you're taking all sorts of actions, even though the legislature has not confirmed you. You're spending our money, you're taxing us, you're going to destroy the greatest restaurants that we have in Central Florida. As anyone who looked when he came in, if you saw the elevators, who was there? People who testified about you last Wednesday, which I wish I could have been here, but I had to have work done on my condo. But I really hope that you just resign or stop or actually do your job, which is to do what's in the best interest of the district, not what's in the best interest of the governor who I used to support. People asked who I was for president. I was for DeSantis until he started this stupid war and is destroying us. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your interest in the district, sir. Next, we'll go to new business. We've got one item on the agenda. It's board discussion, direction of litigation counsel, and authorization to defend district officials sued in their official capacity. Now, we the Board of Central Florida Tourism Oversight District convened last week to continue pursuing a sensible and straightforward task placed upon us by the Governor of Florida and the Florida legislature, and hence the people of this great state of Florida. I have said this at every meeting of this board. Please hear me loud and clear. The task of this board is to promote better governance and evaluate a new and better zoning structure for the district, among other things. This means that we must address and correct longstanding problems and evaluate and adopt new policies and practices to promote more prosperity for more people working and playing in the district, and in addition, for all of the residents of Osceola and Orange County. In just 4 meetings of this board, here's what we've done to promote better governance, more transparency, new leadership, and to evaluate how the district can function better for more people and the citizens of Florida. 1, we hired a new general counsel who doesn't represent Disney to make sure that the district is in compliance with Florida law. 2, we hired legal counsel, one being a former Florida Supreme Court justice who has since advised the board that Disney created illegal agreements in violation of many Florida laws. 3, we hired an independent financial advisor to bring financial transparency and accountability to the district. 4, we adopted rules to govern the conduct of this board. This is something that never existed before with the prior board. We authorized the hiring of a rate-setting consultant to ensure that the utility rates that Disney tries to impose on other district taxpayers are appropriate and reasonable. 6, we authorized a search to hire an independent urban planner to evaluate affordable and workforce housing in the district, and additionally, to adopt better traffic and environmental solutions. 7, we authorized a search to hire an economic consultant to do a regional fiscal impact study to make sure that this district is functioning as a good neighbor to Orange and Osceola counties. 8, we committed to evaluate how the district can help Orange and Osceola counties in the 87 lawsuits that Disney has filed to contest their own ad valorem taxes. And then finally, I'm really excited about this, we authorized the hiring of a new administrator for this district with impressive leadership credentials and an impeccable reputation for doing the right thing. The diversity and work experiences that he'll bring to the district will significantly enhance the board's capacity to make the district more inclusive and more prosperous for more people. Our board has taken these enumerated actions to promote the public good, pursuant to the new legislation governing this district. Notwithstanding these board actions, Disney, while we were meeting last week, sued this board to stop our efforts to improve the district and its operations. In essence, Disney is asking a federal court in Tallahassee to wrestle back the hands of time to 1967, while this board is instead charged legislatively with bringing the district into the 21st century with new and better policies and practices. Let's talk about that for a minute. There is nothing that any of us are doing today that we were doing the same in 1967. Think about it. In 1967, we had adding machines and cash registers. And I know that because my dad was an adding machine salesman. Today we have these phones that do everything for us. Think back and look at architectural design, fashion design, interior design. Think about the changes that have occurred there. And yes, in urban planning designing. Urban planning wasn't even a profession in 1967. Think about all the changes that have occurred in that profession. And that's what we're trying to do, is bring this district from an urban planning perspective into today's times. And think about the innovation that has occurred in that industry. Think about why Disney has been so successful in the past 56 years, because they've innovated. Innovation is the American way. But for us to be stuck in an urban planning design of 1967, does that make sense to anybody? It doesn't make any sense to me. And when I explain the idea that what this board is trying to do is to bring new and better ideas to the district, it makes sense to all of my friends on the right or the left, because innovation is the American way. And that's all we're trying to do with the district. We don't want to go back to 1967. Now, it should be obvious to everyone that this board didn't enact any of the legislation that Disney is and has been complaining about. This board didn't make the laws and had nothing to do with making those laws. Our role is simply to follow the laws enacted by the Florida legislature. This is what this board has done and will continue to do to move the district forward. Since Disney sued us, yes, we didn't sue Disney, Disney sued us, we have no choice now but to respond. This is why we called today's meeting, to authorize legal action in response to Disney's federal lawsuit. This district will seek justice in state court here in Central Florida, where both it and Disney reside and do business. Yes, we'll seek justice in our own backyard. And so, with those comments, I'd like to make a motion to authorize a state court lawsuit to be filed by the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District against Walt Disney Parks and Resorts USA, Inc., and such other parties as may be needed to uphold and enforce the board's April 26, 2023 legislative findings relating to the February 8, 2023 development agreement and declaration of restrictive covenants, and to have that litigation counsel defend the Board of Supervisors and the district administrator sued in their official capacities by Walt Disney Parks and Resorts USA, Inc. in federal court on April 26, 2023. The district's acting general counsel and litigation counsel are given the authority to bring such causes of action and defenses that they deem appropriate. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chair, before we vote, we do have some members on Zoom. We want to make sure that they participate in the vote when it's called, since our rules allow that.
Okay, is there any discussion from those on Zoom? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. In terms of other business, there is nothing on the agenda. Is there any further comments, discussions, or questions from my fellow board members?
Yes, I'd like to just say something. It's been represented in the media that we are somehow political individuals trying very hard to force an agenda that is not ours, but is the governor's. The reality is, about 2 months back, I got a phone call. I don't know I don't know the governor. I had never met him. And I was asked if I would serve on this board. I'm retired. I had a very nice retirement. I enjoyed it. It was very easy. I'm involved with a lot of different things that are fun for me to do. But I felt it was my civic duty to help any way that I could. I understand the strange things that are happening in Florida at this point. I understand that there are political battles going on, that there are people who are with agendas that want to go in one direction or another. And I felt that having spent 40 years running international businesses, having spent 10 years as a pastor, having spent time, having been the president of a seminary, having years ago worked as a vice president of a large multinational company, that experience might prepare me for this. I can tell you there is nothing that could have prepared me for this. What I encountered was gross misrepresentation in the press. They actually said that I believed that if you drank tap water, it would make you gay. I never said that. I don't believe it, certainly. I have gotten hate mail every day. I've gotten phone calls of people who are just so angry. They believe what's in the press. I've been mocked by CNN, by Forbes, actually even European media that have been contacted and besieged me. I've encountered all of these things. Even Stephen Colbert did 2 sessions on me. Now, I had just a very happy life. My goal is to be a good citizen and to help. I can tell you what I've discovered since being on this board, all of the craziness I've encountered. I would not change my decision even knowing what's happened. Everyone hears through the filter of the press. You're not hearing what reality is. The reality is that there did need to be a change. People may not be happy about the way it came about. They may have political views that convince them that it shouldn't have come about, but it has, and we are where we are. And I would encourage you to certainly investigate, give the board and everything an opportunity to go forward. Pray for us, certainly. And I would encourage you to know that this group of individuals, I've been very impressed with. These are not people who are monolithic in their thinking. They're open-minded, they're compassionate. They're just normal folk who have a lot of experience. And, you know, it's been a surprise to me to be sued. In my entire business life, dealing in incredibly difficult, mission-critical situations, I've never sued anybody. I've never been sued. Disney suing me? You've got to be kidding. I have loved Disney World. My kids have enjoyed it. The Magic Kingdom, it's wonderful. I think there are so many positives. It is my hope, and I know it's the hope of the board, that the actions that we take will ultimately wind up being better for everyone, Disney included, and certainly the citizens and the taxpayers of this area. I'm sorry, the gentleman who spoke, I'm sorry that you've heard the things you have. This is actually a group of people working very hard for the sake of everyone. And I can tell you, all sacrificing a great deal. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other comments, questions from my fellow board members? Hearing none, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you.